Testing the microphone. Hello, hello. It's a pleasure being here once again, Wave TV. Okay, good morning. Welcome. My apologies, of course, to my esteemed fans who observe that the microphone is not giving us what they anticipated, and we are working on that, and by the grace of God, we'll get better. Yeah. Good morning, Mr. Charles. It's a pleasure having you. This headquarters is one of the best ever I have seen. You are looking so beautiful and fantastic. Yes, welcoming you to this political rumbles here this morning is Chigozie Ndibo here in Wave TV. How was the night, Mr. Charles?
We bless God for everything. Thank God.
Yes, today we are to look at the most controversial circumstances at the Senate, where some are of the opinion that Mazi Nnamdi Kanu should be released, while some oppose that motion for the release of Mazi Nnamdi Kanu. There was division among them, and which is rather unfortunate. What we want to discuss this morning is why is it that some opposed the release, unconditional release of Mazi Nnamdi Kanu, even when the court has given an order, a verdict in his favor for his unconditional release, but even the senators who are legislators, who understood the nitty-gritties of the law, you see, could even violate or neglect the verdict of his own courts of law. What an irony. What do you have to say?
Honestly speaking, I'm disappointed with most of the senators that decided to oppose the release of this IPOP leader in the person of Nnamdi Kanu. I overheard that one of the senators is from Imo State, Ubezim to precise, Ubezim, one of the APC members representing one of the senatorial district zone in Imo State. Honestly speaking, I'm disappointed because most of these senators is not a welcome development and it's not even a welcome idea, because most of these senators should have known that the only means of drafting out this lasting insecurity in eastern parts of this country would have been the release of this young man, because everybody assumed that as long as this man is under the custody of the so-called TSS, it's not even going in accordance, in consonant with whatever they want, because a senator believing to know that the masses put you there and they are dying on a daily basis, and you know there's insecurity rampaging and going through the masses, and what do you stand to gain? What do? You decided to say that the senators, that somebody who has decided to sign for the release of this young man, that he should not be released. It means that you are calling that the insecurity that is ravaging the eastern part of this country should continue. Why? Because most of them, you don't blame most of them, because they stand no chance to lose anybody, because most of their families are not even here. But that is not to say, remember, the path road you followed, once you destroy it, you still come back to that particular road. You are a senator, remembering fully well that you're going to come back tomorrow and decide that you want to be re-elected again into that particular post. But a man whom you know should have been the solution, should have been a panacea to most of the insecurity that is ravaging the eastern part of Nigeria, let him be released so that there will be a lasting peace and decorum. But what do? You said no. And lots of people who we did not even expect, people that I never even expected, the senator that I never even expected, were the one that endorsed for the release of this young man. But to you, as a brother, Mr. Ubezim, you decided to say no to that. It means I am highly disappointed in you. I'm from Imo State. Honestly speaking, I'm highly disappointed with this young man that comes from Imo State, because he is not worthy to be a member of the so-called senatorial zone, because he is not after the lives and the protection of the lives of the masses. Because to me, it's that he derives more joy in seeing the masses being killed on a daily basis, because you know the solution, and the solution is nothing. It's not even going to Finland to arrest Mazi Mr. Ekpam. That is not even a solution to most of these things. The only solution to this problem is release this young man, and you find out that if we have 97% killings in Igbo land, you believe in me, even most of you sit at home, drastically, the man being the leader of IPOP will know how to solve those issues. But you are there trying to tell the whole world that you do not even want to vie for the release of this young man. It means you are a total disgrace to whoever you are representing in that senatorial district.
Honestly, and the Mazin Nnamdi Kanu represent a formidable movement, and they have enjoyed the support of the majority of the Easterners. And for him to have made such unpopular decisions is quite unfortunate. Now, what we are looking at is that senators make law, and the judiciary is part of the law they make. You see, senators make law, the judiciary interprets the law. And the law you made, which establish the judiciary, the courts, Nigerian courts. And Nigerian courts had given you an injunction, a verdict, a ruling. And you being a lawmaker is now opposing that particular law or system that makes law an arm of the government. Isn't that an abuse of office? Because you cannot, in any sense of responsibility, infringe on someone's rights of defense as stipulated in the same law or constitution of Nigeria, that a man or an accused is presumed innocent unless determined otherwise by a competent court of law. And this competent court of law had given their own verdict after a strenuous, of course, a litigation or proceedings. And they said and affirmed the innocency of Mazin Nnamdi Kanu. For him to be discharged and acquitted, it's rather unfortunate that most senators are not living up to reality. They are not living within the spectrum of realities, especially when it borders on security of the Eastern people. The court said release him. I'm not in any way trying to empathize or sympathize with the IPOBs, but we are looking in the light of the law and the position of the law or the court of law. Could such be accepted at this time? Which one is more difficult? To release Mazin Nnamdi Kanu and restore peace and tranquility within the eastern region, or the extradition of Mazin Nnamdi Kanu? I mean, the extradition of Simon Ekpa, who is on the faraway Finland. How do you think they will succeed in this particular move to extradite Simon Ekpa, who is advocating for justice, having been served by the Nigerian Appellate Court of Law within the Nigerian jurisdiction? Say, release Mazin Nnamdi Kanu according to your law, court of law.
Honestly speaking, I have said it, and let me just repeat myself again. The simplest means of doing this is for them to release Nnamdi Kanu. Going down to a place like Finland to stretch this young man called Ekpa is of no use. The reason why Ekpa is doing whatever he's doing is because of the so-called our leader, Mazin Nnamdi Kanu, is still under the custody of TSS. Believe me, if we should decide to release that young man, any threat that is being given by this Mazin Ekpa from Finland, everything would drastically stop. But you decided to hold on to someone whom the court of law have decided to discharge and acquitted. And he has done something. Once you have been discharged and acquitted by the court of law, it means that you have no case. But what are we witnessing in Nigeria? We are witnessing a situation whereby they are trying to tell that we don't have law anymore. What is the function of the judiciary now? A judiciary that you decided to place in as one of the formidable force and body and organs of government that we have in Nigeria, decided to discharge this young man and acquitted him. But you, because you think you are at the corridor of power, you are still at the corridor of power, and you think that you are nothing but above the law, what do? you decided to say no, that this young man should still remain under the custody of DSS. And now you are trying to tell the Home Office that you want to go and bring down a man who is in a foreign country. Meanwhile, you know that the problem right there is in your house, in your doorstep. Why not release this young man? So that once you have released this young man, you have every right to open up and find out if this young man will continue whatever he's doing. Somebody like Ekpa, if he does that, what do? It means that you have every right to report him to Finland government. That is only when they will even listen to you, because the so-called leader has been released and discharged. Now, the government we are living in a government. Somebody once said, being the president himself, that there's going to be anarchy once it's been removed. What are we witnessing now? We are witnessing nothing but an anarchy system of government right now in Nigeria.
Honestly, anarchy in the highest order, is it an oversight? Because the senators have been in Nigeria where people are dying in their hundreds, in their thousands, and they have not made any move to declare state of emergency, especially in the Benue, North Central, in the Northwest, in the Kaduna, in Jos. People have been dying, communities have been sacked, raped and destroyed, their farmlands have been raided. These senators are not doing anything to remedy the situation. They have not moved any motion to nab or arrest or call even the operatives, security operatives to order. Why are they not protecting the Nigerian populace, which is the fundamental right or duty of any responsible government? Only just to be more interested in holding back a man who their own courts have set free. Isn't that stepping beyond the boundary? What kind of society do we find ourselves? Where people are dying on daily basis in Nigeria. You are interested in Simon Ekpa, who is in a faraway land. Meaning you are just interested to protect your own political dynasty rather than empathizing or feeling for the people.
Well, the system of government we are in, we have been expecting to see what we call a democratic system of government, whereby the individual have their final say, whereby you can express your view or that is when you indict yourself under what we call the fundamental human rights.
And where the court seems to be the final hope of a common man. But that seems not to be the case.
That is not what we are seeing in Nigeria. A young man has been set free. Now, you ask yourself, what is even the scene of this young man? A man whom you have never seen with a gun. You have never seen with a gun. You have never seen witnessed him with anything. But you decided to equip this man, tie him down under the DSS custody. And it is one of the prominent body we have in Nigeria, being the Supreme Court of Nigeria, and one of the highest court in Nigeria decided to discharge this young man and acquitted him. I believe, the problem we are having in Nigeria is that most of these governmental people that find themselves at the corridor of power seems not to know the functions of being in governance as much as you can tell. Because most of them, what are the functions of being in governance? What are the functions of courts? What are the functions of most of the judiciary? And what are the functions and what are your rights as a Nigerian citizens? Your rights simply imply that as long as you have been caught, you caught somebody caught you that you stole something from him, you are not only guilty until the court prove you otherwise. A court of permanent competent jurisdiction decided to amputate some of the things that you are trying to tell the whole world that this man did, but they amputated almost all the sins and crimes that this man was not even found guilty. And they decided to discharge and acquit this young man. But what do you see? You see a situation whereby most of these people said no, that this man should remain in DSS. That is to tell you that most of these people, they are not even after the interests of the masses. They are nothing but after their own political stupidity he has hit my sound, because if really you have the masses at heart, the interest of the masses at heart, and somebody has been discharged, what do you stand to gain? Why not release this young man? Now, according to Professor AVDC, I normally mention this because this is where the rule of law comes into existence. You find out there's separation of power. We have what you call separation of power in government. Once there's a separation of power, according to AVDC, the judiciary should be in their own, to serve their own personal functions.
Independence.
Their independence should be there. The executive should have their own personal independence. Now, it means there should not be someone running into cross-capital, trespassing into somebody's function. A function that has been given to judiciary to expedite and said, this young man is not guilty and he has been discharged and acquitted. You still decided to hold on this man captive. It means that they are trying to tell you and I that some of the words, it's just, as simple as that. They are just trying to tell you and I that most of these people are nothing but 100% above Nigerian law, so to say. Honestly speaking, we are not happy because you are now trying to tell us that we, the average Nigerian, should also go and disobey the court order. So we are not happy. Let them go and settle themselves, because the only means of clearing and fighting insecurity in Nigeria is by releasing the indigenous people of Biafra leaders, being in the person of Mazin.
According to the law of the land. And it's been wonderful having you here. I think the senators could be setting a respite for anarchy, and this is quite unfortunate that people who should defend democracy and the tenets of faith of the law is now abusing it or negating the position and the standing of the court ruling. Thank you, Mr. Charles, for being here. It's been a wonderful time. When I grow up, I would like to have the same head court with you. Good morning. It's a pleasure having you here, comrades. Yes, we are discussing about the controversial circumstances surrounding the opposed and those who propose for the release of Mazi Nnamdi Kanu at the Senate's lawmakers section. Some say that no, it should not be released, that the court ruling verdict should be thrown aside, that they should usurp the powers of the judiciary who has pronounced judgment in favor of Mazi Nnamdi Kanu and continue the detention, illegal detention of a man that has been set free by Nigeria's appellate courts of law. What is your reaction?
I'm laughing as you were saying what you were saying. I was laughing, and the real gist has come out. The secret has been released. Yes, the secret has been released because it is now clear that these lawmakers, these senators, are against the peace in the southeast region. You know that without the release of Nnamdi Kanu, there won't be peace in the southeast, and people are calling for it to release. Some even of those senators are saying that Tinubu should release Nnamdi Kanu. Some of them went to visit Buhari in his time. You don't know that some of them are hypocrites. They want to try and have any politician in the Southeast that wants to create a good name for himself, he will call for release of Nnamdi Kanu. But inside of them, they have shown that they don't really want this guy to be released.
Behind the scene, they are working for against
the release of Nnamdi Kanu. So I know now that it is not Buhari that is the problem. It is the Southeast politicians that is the problem that the Southeast is facing. The crisis is being caused by the Southeast politicians. Imagine they are saying that a man that was declared was given bail by a court, the court gave order that he should release him. You people from the same region are kicking against it. Imagine, it's unfortunate.
Could it be that they are doing that because of the political gains or what they stand to gain? Could that be a sellout?
An average politician is selfish. So the Southeast politicians, they are not different from an average politician. We all know that an Igbo man loves money loves money and they are doing it for their personal gain. They wish to sacrifice the peace of the Southeast for their personal gain. They don't care if Southeast burn down. Look at the governor of Enugu State. 3 people have been killed because of they refused to go to their shops. You did not provide security for them, and you expect them to go out. When you did not provide security, how do you expect people to go out to their shops? And he went ahead to lock up their shops. And in the moment of protest, you kill 3 people, and you expect us to believe that politicians are fighting for the good of the Southeast. No, they are fighting for their self-interest.
Honestly, this is quite unfortunate. Don't you think that this is certain? Of course, the entire southeastern region on fire and could be a respite for unimaginable breakdown of law, because it had been already initiated by people calling for the rule of law to be thrown aside. It is rather unfortunate. Don't you think that this could lead to a point where it is becoming impossible to control?
One thing about an Igbo man is that an Igbo man does not really forget. An Igbo man does not really agree with you. Before they act, they must be convinced. Now they are convinced. An average woman now, looking at the reports, they are convinced that the problem, they are very much convinced that the problem of the
Southeastern politicians.
And one thing about an Igbo man is that they will give you your size. No matter how long it takes. So far they are convinced they are going to commit themselves to that cause. That's what's happening with the sit at home. Most Igbo people are against that stuff. Even though most people don't like Samonekba, but they still keep that sit at home because they are convinced that it is going to bring peace to the Southeast. It's going to bring the Southeast at a level whereby they can be respected in Nigeria. So I think now they have already. The die is cast. The die is cast. The Southeast position will find it more difficult to govern the Southeast region.
And to win the support of the people with this development.
It's very difficult, very difficult to win the heart of an Igbo man. So if you now lost confidence in you, it takes. But these Southeast politicians are selfish. They are being driven by selfishness, so they cannot win
against the popular position of their own people. Now, calling for the extradition of Mazi Ikpa, do you think that is funny, or could that be a way of distracting?
I don't like the style of Mazi Simon Ekpa, but you see, he's better off than the politicians. What he's fighting for, although I have some reservations about him, I don't like his style of commando, although that's what a desperate measure needs desperate action. That's what they need at this point in time. Calling for extradition is what revealed to us that the Saudi politicians are the cause of the insecurity in the Southeast.
Including the Ohanese, who have been parading or pretending to be the lead echelon leader of the Igbos.
It has been confirmed for long.
Oh, wonderful. Well, we'll continue to watch and see how that happens. But the reality is that we must confine to the rule of law. Thank you very much, comrade. It's an honor and a pleasure having you,
Thank you.
This morning in these political rumbles. Yes, ladies and gentlemen, wherever you might be watching us, we are, of course, committed, and it is our passion bringing your way unbiased reportage of events as they continue to unfold here. We have the next in the line, Mr. Lazarus. You are most welcome this morning. Okay, we are discussing pertinent issues regarding the opposition for the release of Mazi Nnamdi Kanu when the case was brought up at the plenary of the National Assembly. Some oppose his unconditional release, say no, regardless of the position of the court's ruling, that Mazi Nnamdi Kanu should continue under illegal detention by the Senate, the lawmakers, breaking the law. What do you have to say?
I greeted the Nigerians outside and inside Nigerians. I'm here to move the motion. We say that Nnamdi Kanu will remain there. The person, the one where we first, he may not comment on it. Because Nnamdi Kanu is fighting for his rights. That man is fighting for his own for his own selfish interest.
You mean the senator?
The senator, and I cannot abuse him, but God have already caused him, since he says that he have already made such a mistake by saying that Nnamdi Kanu will remain there, so that he will be collecting money, put inside his pockets. So he will suffer for it physically and otherwise. No any benefits of that for that one, because God in heaven knows that Nnamdi Kanu is not a killer, which is the leader of IPOB, indigenous people of Biafra.
Apart from God knowing, even the court, Nigerian Appellate Court of Law, also affirm that he is innocent and has no case to answer as far as the extraordinary rendition saga is concerned.
Yes.
So why should the government, who should protect the position of the law, begin to oppose it? Isn't that the state of anarchy building up?
It's the state of anarchy, and the meaning of anarchy is a place of no lawlessness, a place where there is no rules and regulations that is guiding. And even that Nigeria have a law, they could have released Nnamdi Kanu. Court have order to say this person have to be released, and when court say this person have to release, in that moment he will be released.
Any responsible government will comply to that directive of the court. It is generally accepted anywhere in the world. But making a different interpretation or motion against, contrary to your own laws, shows the height of irresponsibility by the senators who makes law. They make law and break the same law. Now calling for the extradition, bringing back of Simon Ekpa. How possible do you think that is?
The legislatures, criticizing law as senators, they are taking law into their hands. It's no longer Nigerian constitution again. Samara to come to go and pick him anywhere. Which offense is Samara committed that will make them to go and pick him from there?
He says sit at home for the release of Mazen Nnamdi Kanu. That is offense.
Is it an offense? It's not an offense.
Within Nigerian law, I never knew. I have not come across that. That could be new.
They are doing law into their hand. They are taking law into their hand.
Taking law into their hands.
Yes, they're not supposed to say so. As far as the court have approved to release Nnamdi Kanu, and they did not remove him. Okay, now, your papa now commit an offense. You will pick him and put him in government. But this man did not commit any offense. Why is it? I never hear him say we kill him. Rather, release Mazen Nnamdi Kanu. How do they know that it's a problem of Nigeria?
Thank you so much, Mr. Lazarus, for this wonderful submission here in Cowwave TV. It's a pleasure having you. Do have a great time.
I thank Nigerians that is outside the country and others. God will bless you all.
Amen to that wonderful prayers. Yes, in today's political rumbles, we are to discuss on the opposition during the plenary, Senate plenary. Some oppose the release of Nnamdi Kanu, while some are in support of that. At the end of the day, it was suspended. So what do you have to say?
My brother, the person that said that he will not sign or release Nnamdi Kanu is the one that caused the killings in Southeast. That man is supposed to be arrested as long as that killings is going on in Southeast. As long as the killings is going on in Southeast, particularly his only job, Imo State. That senator, God will punish him, Papa. God will punish him, Mama. God will punish him. In family, God will punish all of them.
Honestly, why is it that he has to take that unpopular decision when virtually all the entire Eastern people are clamoring of course, for the release of Mazi Nnamdi Kanu to restore sanity, to restore peace, to restore, of course, security and the economic revival in Southeast, only for the lawmaker breaking the law because the court has given their own position that Mazi Nnamdi Kanu should be released unconditionally, and a lawmaker who should know better is now opposing that position. I mean, what could have informed such kind of mindset at this particular time when everybody is restless? There have been several calls for his release.
I don't blame that man. The man is sitting in Abuja. There's no problem in Abuja. I get him. His family is not in Southeast. His family is in Abuja. So I don't blame the man because he's the one that put in the fire in Southeast. He says he represents his people, and his own local government, there is a fire under the local government when they represent. And to solve the problem, and many people have come to solve the problem that say that you cannot sign to this. They have to sign that man. That man have collected money from Fulanis. Yes.
Now, how do you think an average Easterner, especially from the Southeast, will see the action of this man, of that senator?
The senators need to be beat out. It's not a representative, it's a useless man. This man, no, see, bros, it's only thing this man depending his own pocket and his own family to solve his own family problem and solve his own problem. That's all. He don't care about anybody. If you take his own local government, if some of you people who are journalists can go to the local government of this man, so many families have already grass have already flowed everywhere. Some people have already run out from the families because of what is going on in South East.
And still, he doesn't want to pay attention to that.
He don't
What
care.
exactly did Nnamdi Kanu commit? Because if he is guilty, the Nigerian government would have prosecuted him. They would have jailed him, saying that the court have indicted him. The court gave a verdict against him. But now that the court, Nigerian court, appellate court, has given a verdict in his favor, and the lawmakers, so to say, who should be the custodian of the law, are the one kicking against justice.
That man, particularly, this question is supposed to be asking that man because the man who's supposed to in the position to do the right thing as a representative,
To call Nigerians to order.
Yes.
That they should obey the court order.
This thing you people is running out. It's what people are supposed to do because the court have already decided and declared this man. And you, when the representative in the House of Assembly, you're supposed to sign to this man to go home. You are in your house fucking your wife. You and your wife
Enjoy your children.
eating the food of your wife. You are in your house indulging your children. You are in your house paying your school fees of your children. You are in your house. They walk up and down anywhere you want to go. You try to go out, and you catch somebody somewhere when not doing anything, and you say it go better for you. Unless there's no God in heaven. If there's a God in heaven who answer prayer, who answer the prayer of Israelis, and Israelis be an nation, and Israelis get free from the captivities in Egypt, Mazi Nnamdi Kanu will be a free man by special grace of God.
And that becomes a question of when, because already the courts have set him free based on the extraordinary rendition. Nigeria has lost the right to try him. But unfortunately, the same people who should know better. Some people have been saying that the southeastern politicians are the ones holding Mazi Nnamdi Kanu, are the ones that betrayed him.
Yes.
Not even the Buhari, not even the Tinubus, but people from the southeastern brother who should be considered his own blood, his own brothers. What kind of mindset, what kind of spirit is
they are
that?
wickedness in the highest order, which means after they making all this money finish, cancer go collect them. If cancer no collect them, different diseases go collect them for their body. All the money wey they make through the Japunje, through all this rubbish wey they do, they go still spend them through sickness. All their children will still collect them with sickness because where Ike Kuremadu where in there now? Ike Kuremadu, his pay is own dues there. Normal. Chimaro Kenaman. His body is collecting his own too. All those people that wicked Southeast.
Part of what?
They're going to collect that. In fact, now that they do their own now, they have their own time now. That time is coming that even their family will not be in Southeast. Their family, their family will leave Southeast, vacate from Southeast, on 20. So thank you very much.